I am going to introduce Kathleen, Dr. Merrigan, I should say. But I thought, just in celebration of the fact that this is I think, a relatively remarkable day, in that we are celebrating the fact that we have this tremendous agricultural bounty in the Northwest, but I think we're also always and every day celebrating the fact that we have so many wonderful people in this region working on these food systems issues and working in partnership, working across state boundaries, working across city and county and all the sort of unnatural boundaries that we sometimes create for ourselves when our food is moving all throughout the region. I just want to really appreciate and thank the spirit, I guess. I want to recognize the spirit in which this meeting came together. I want to honor the great region of the Northwest. And to do that, I wanted to just grab some colleagues.
I'm Vicki Walker. I'm State Director of Rural Development, and I want to introduce my colleague from Washington State, Mario Villanueva.
Thank you, Vicki. Just really glad to be here today at this convening. I'd like to turn it over to my colleague, Executive Director for Oregon Farm Service Agency, Lynn Voigt.
Honor to be here. Thank you. I hope this is a great meeting for you. Thanks.
One of the things that I'm so struck by is the degree to which we were, of course, already working regionally. And we were already madly in love with our farmers. We were knowing them, and we were knowing our food. But what a thrill it was when USDA created the Know Your Farmer, Know Your Food program. And what a thrill when they started putting out information, encouraging folks to think about their work in the context of regionalism as an economic development opportunity. Dr. Merrigan.
It's a celebration. It really is. It's a celebration for two really important reasons. First, it was just a year ago that EcoTrust launched Foodhub to connect regional food buyers and sellers. We set Deputy Undersecretary Ann Wright from our Marketing and Regulatory Program here for that kickoff, a little ribbon cutting. And I'm honored to come here today and continue to follow through on our interest in this and our commitment, our involvement to try to make this a phenomenal success on your first anniversary. Hurrah, but we've got a long ways to go. So in very short time, in very short order, Foodhub has developed an elaborate and sophisticated website with some 1,500 buyers and sellers doing business in the marketplace, and people in Washington are watching. This range of connections, what Deborah calls from the usual suspects to those new to the buy local conversation, brings me to the second reason I wanted to come and celebrate with you all. And that is this concept of great regions. USDA's award to Foodhub last fall was one of a series of awards that we made across the country supporting projects focused on regional economic development. With the Foodhub award, the Greater Northwest became one of our first great regions. So along with celebrating the first anniversary of Foodhub, this meeting is the first convening, as we call it, of the Northwest Great Region. We're trying to make investments that are strategic, targeted, and matched to the realities on the ground. Realities like Oregon's and Washington State's diverse agriculture that's well suited to meeting regional consumer demand for specialized, high-value food products. In some ways, the Great Regions approach is an antidote to one of the dangers of localism. Call it hyper-localism, if you will. The notion that I don't want produce from Southern Oregon, I just want it from my town. I mean, the truth is that consumers want the rich food stocks of many climates and growing seasons. We know this. Backed by economies of scale, however, regionalism is the bridge that breaks down both the local regional divide and the urban-rural divide. So we think it has all the elements. So we're trying to have a place-based approach, trying to help communities identify their own strengths. We're trying to cluster economies geographically and collaboratively. By encouraging new economic, political, and social partnerships, we're trying to help break down some of the barriers to opportunities that cross jurisdictions. When the President called on us in his State of the Union address most recently to win the future by out-innovating and out-building the rest of the world to make America the best place on earth to do business, he was speaking directly to the promise and the potential of rural America. Indeed, EcoTrust's mission is to innovate, invest, and inspire in ways that create reliable prosperity. These are the ideas we carefully considered in USDA's 2012 budget which we released last month. And thinking about USDA's key leverage piece in the growth of Foodhub brings to mind a quote from Wendell Berry. Trying to think about all the sustainability challenges ahead. And Wendell Berry said, "Whether we and our politicians know it or not, nature is party to all our deals and decisions, and she has more votes, a longer memory, and a sterner sense of justice than we do." Wendell Berry. You know where Wendell Berry was yesterday? He was at the White House. He was one of 20 people honored by President Obama, recipient of the 2010 National Humanities Medal for his achievements as a poet, a novelist, a farmer, and a conservationist. And the president, in conferring the award, said, quote, "We have to remember that our strength as a people runs deeper than our military might. It runs deeper than our GDP. It's also about our values and our ideals that each generation is called to uphold, and that each artist helps us better understand." What an honor to have Wendell Berry there. Our friend, a person who's been writing about sustainability for so long. So with this great vision and a commitment to local foods, EcoTrust leadership, some of the best and the brightest, by the way, have created a model that others will build upon, that will help us understand. This resonates well in today's budget climate as it further leverages investment dollars. I really believe that Foodhub is on its way to connecting buyers and sellers. You're breaking ground here. And with this meeting, you're saying that you're ready to take stock of the challenges and move on to the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, local is hot. There hasn't been a time in my professional career where I've seen such a food trend, and others are saying the same thing. When you say, even the Chef's Magazine, the top 3 or 4 out of 5 of the local food trends, of the hottest food trends for 2010 and then 11 again, are all around local. There's also a little nod to those mini desserts. I love those mini desserts. Don't you love those mini desserts? But anyhow, local is much bigger than that. So, carpe diem. This is the time. This is the time that people are really ready for this. We got to lift up these models. We've got to make them successful. We've got to beat down the path so others follow. We need to learn what works and what doesn't, and help each other develop various ways to get to where we need to go.